And that takes us to Virginia Tech versus the Flying Boulders, which is the combination of Colorado Boulder and Ontario Tech.
Yes.
So we're really excited to see those two teams go up against one another. The robots are being brought to the field right now. Thank you for your patience during that break and with those slight technical difficulties. We did grab a couple of the different projectiles so you can kind of see them in perspective. The golf ball, right, as you'd expect, is, well, golf ball size. Put it against this black surface, and it's hard.
Yeah,
somebody was saying
plastic.
earlier that we should put a microphone in the field so you could hear the dinks, and it's so loud. It really adds another level of excitement to the competition to have that crazy sound happening when the robots are dealing damage to one another. And then the robots you're seeing put on the field right now, the Standards and the Sentry, are both firing those small 17mm rubber projectiles. So let's make sure that we've got the stuff right. We do. The red team is Virginia Tech, RoboGrinder, that we saw in their practice match earlier. This is the beginning of the group stages, so these are the real matches, Angel.
Indeed they are. These real matches, these official matches that we are starting up right now, everything before was a practice match. So all these teams will be fielding as many robots as they can right now. So we have both VT and the Flying Boulders fielding, I believe, all three robots. Their Sentry, their Standard, and their Hero, Preston.
In addition, these matches are best of 2. So I know best of 2 doesn't make a whole lot of sense sometimes, but here's how it works. We're going to play match 1. Then there will be a brief pit, very brief, like 2 minutes, unless some team calls a technical timeout, in which case they will get 5 additional minutes to make any repairs that they need to their robots. Then the teams will play again. If the teams go 1-1, 1 match each as a victory, it will be a tie, and they will not go to a third round during the group stages. That's how our best of 2 rounds will work. So, one of my favorite things about best of 2 is seeing how the strategy develops or changes in between that first match and that second match, because the teams have the chance to adapt rather than the best of 1s.
Right, so I believe these teams will accumulate as many points as they can possibly today and as well as tomorrow, and then we will enter the knockout stage in the following day, where teams will compete, some will be eliminated, and we will hopefully crown a RoboMasters NA champion.
Very, very exciting. All right, so we've talked a lot about those RoboGrinder Virginia Tech robots. You can see that iconic yellow and black color scheme, and it looks like all of the robots are out there. They're ready to go, so we're going to start initializing that. Oh, nope, we've got a technical pause. So because this is the group stage, we might see some of these teams start to use their technical timeouts. And here's how those work. The captain of the team can call a technical timeout 5 times during the duration of the competition. That's for your entire weekend. You get those timeouts. If it's your first match of the best of 2 or the best of 5, depending on the set, and it's a referee system issue, you will not be penalized, as that can often be issues that are come up with firmware versions and things such as that. So should be great. Should be great.
Yeah, we're getting some excellent shots here as actually the teams are coming in. We have a lot of people from the pit setting up here. We get some really shaky camera angles.
I think that's actually first-person view from one of the robots' cameras. Now you know what the drivers are seeing. You can imagine how difficult it is. A little bit jerky if perhaps your PID tuning isn't exactly what it needs to be, but sure can be disorienting as those pilots try and take out the other robots.
Yeah, some of the common things that we saw in these practice matches were a lot of things like barrel overheating and accidental top velocities reaching too high. The referee system will pick those up and will issue damage points to that robot. So these teams have to be very careful in terms of calculating how fast their bullets travel.
You can see right now on your stream, you can see the jittering head of that blue Standard on the Flying Boulder side. That is likely the cause of the technical pause, as that pitch motor is vibrating very quickly. And if you've ever dealt with electronics or mechanics or robots, you know that vibrations are the killer of pretty much any structural object. So they're going to take a second and probably take a technical timeout to try and get this sorted out so that their robots survive this round.
Yeah, when competing for points here, these teams are going to take it extra seriously. You know, they've got the chance already to play around with the robots, see how the field works and everything like that. Kind of had some rough interactions early on with technical difficulties with their robots. But now that it's the official matches, everyone's taking it super seriously. And hopefully in a few minutes here, when the technical pause is over, we'll have some really good combat coming out here.
We had some questions in the chat about viewing recordings later. Yes, you should be able to view VODs of the games at some point via our YouTube channel or even on our Twitch. For the matches, the practice matches earlier in the day, I'm not sure if those will be available via VOD due to our power surge that we had. I'm not sure if that data is still accessible, but those were just practice matches. So it still is the assumption that we will have these group stages as well as the semifinals and, of course, the finals able for you guys to be viewed later, both for parents and family, friends, right, teams, etc.
Right, so this is actually just the first day of matches. You know, we've been here a little bit for the week to help set up, but we will have one day followed by the June 20th day, and then finally we will be wrapping up Monday with the last finals matches. So we're just at the beginning here. You guys can tune in later this weekend and on Monday as well if you want to see more RoboMasters content, but we will be here commentating.
Oh, if you heard my audible gasp, you can see the Virginia Tech team also making some startled movements as something fell, I think, from the top of the sentry rail. Hopefully it wasn't an actual part of the robot. Hopefully someone just stuck their cell phone up there. We'll assume the best and plan for the worst. It seems that jittering standard was not the only cause for the technical timeout, as Virginia Tech is having some issues with their sentry. The blue team, the combined Colorado Boulder and Ontario Tech are not fielding a sentry during this round. So again, they will have to push and play very aggressively to be able to take that down, that Virginia Tech sentry, to level out the game.
Yeah, indeed. So for those of you who are not aware at home, when you do not field a sentry turret, you are at a big disadvantage because the way the wins are calculated is that if both teams do have a sentry turret, whoever has the most damage to the sentry turret will win that match. And if you do not have a sentry turret fielded, if you're not able to take down the opposing team's sentry turrets, then, or you don't, even if you get more damage into it, you won't win the match just because you're not able to field all three robots. And, you know, we're still here in this technical pause. Both teams are trying their best here to get everything working. Woo! They've been here all day, every day. They've been here since at least 8 o'clock in the morning. And they want this to start as much as we do here at home and here at the commentator's desk.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, we're having a bit of a false start as both Virginia Tech and the Flying Boulders have rushed out of the gates.
I believe that's the official start as the timer's going down and they're just going at it right now.
More power to you. There we go. All right, so we've got both of the standards fighting in the middle. The blue team, which is the Flying Boulders, has control of this central buff. Virginia Tech using that beautiful spin to win code that they've got done so well where they spin in place and are able to translate additionally. Some very heavy skirmishing taking place in the middle. You can see the health bars of all of the robots being reduced, but none of them significantly. Oh, wow, the hero for Virginia Tech is so tall as you see it come out and take control over this central buff. Virginia Tech really getting that early push that we said was so important for the Flying Boulders. Virginia Tech gets a kill. They get another kill.
That is their hero down, I believe. Standard 3 trying their best right now on the side of the blue team.
Blue Standard 4 survives with just a sliver of health. Should be able to make it all the way back. Blue Standard 4 finally taken out. That last hit, it does come across. Blue Standard 3 now in the base, getting more ammo, getting back into the health zone.
And I believe
there we go. Virginia Tech starting to just absolutely drill into the base of the Flying Boulders. Dominant performance here in these slightly longer rounds. We might see this match end with a base kill, especially if Virginia Tech can start to land some of these hero shots.
Oh yeah, here comes the hero lining up these shots onto the base. These big 42mm balls, golf balls, will do, I believe, around 200 damage to this base. As you can hear the very loud noises that are coming out here from this hero.
Unfortunately, it appears that those hero shots have been missing. Oh, they've got one. There it is. That's how you can know when the hero hits. You'll see that giant dip in health. So some great shot. There's another one.
Oh, wow. The base is just crumbling under Virginia Tech's pressure.
If they can land 3 or 4 more shots, that'll be it for the Flying Boulders in this first of the best of 2.
An absolute beautiful amount of engineering that has come into place here as Virginia Tech just storms and takes the game here in our first game here. Preston, the amount of accuracy and the amount of precision that has been perfected by Virginia Tech's hero is absolutely stunning. Being able to go almost halfway across the map to land those shots onto the Colorado's base is just phenomenal, honestly.
They did a great job. For those of you watching at home, you may notice that the accuracy percentages, when we say they're great, the percentage is still relatively low, but those hero shots do such a huge percentage of the health of the base with each one that they only need to land 10 shots to kill the entire base. And so while they did miss probably the majority of those hero shots, they were able to land enough to take that early and quick win. Great win from Virginia Tech. Let's see if the Flying Boulders can change up their strategy a little bit, maybe go more defensive. I know we started the match by saying they needed to take that early advantage and push because they didn't have a sentry, but now I think maybe that might be the wrong call as they just got base raced right out of it.
Yeah, I believe it was either their hero or their standard that actually had an overheating foul or referee error, which caused it to die early. So they were actually trying to revive themselves during that period when the Virginia Tech's hero was shooting at their base. So hopefully they'll be able to fix those last-minute things, maybe on the software or the hardware side, as we have around a minute here before our next match starts. It'll be interesting to see if Colorado chooses to use their technical timeouts in order to fix that problem, or if they think they can just go along with it and see if it'll work out.
I think they're ready to go. As we're sweeping off the field and getting ready for the next match, I can peek over our monitor and see that the Flying Boulders have reset their robots and have left the field. They appear ready. So we should not have any delays. When this 23-second timer runs out, we should be diving straight into the second match of this best of 2.
Yeah, the Colorado, the Flying Boulders, they've got these 2 robots. I really think if they can turn it into a 2-on-1 type of confrontation where they're able to get an early kill on maybe the standard or the opposing team's hero, then they might have an opportunity to start racing on that sentry. We run into I believe we're actually starting the match right now as the loading bar is coming up on our screens.
Yep, referee systems are initializing. Oh, one of the blue standards is having a bit of a twitchy episode from their pitch motors. This is something we've seen across a couple different standards, but no time for that. The match is beginning in the second round, best of 2. We'll see if Virginia Tech, coming off that confident first win, plays a little bit more aggressively. It appears that they might, but so might the Flying Boulders, getting all the way back into the base and just taking some shots of that early sentry.
Flying Boulders immediately start going for that sentry.
They sure did pick the strategy. They're in the base of Virginia Tech. That's confidence right there, folks.
They're going in. The standard on Virginia Tech is already lining up shots on the base. We can't see it now, but on the opposing side of the map, that is what is happening. These 3 robots on the side of Virginia Tech, on their side, are going at it. As we see standard 3 from Virginia Tech just laying siege onto that base. Absolutely phenomenal stuff here.
Great job. I really love to see the aggression come out of the Flying Boulders as well. After that first game, they may have realized that if they fought in the skirmishes, they would most likely lose those fights. And so they decided to just give it that full send and just base rush and see if they could Zerg rush their way through the Virginia Tech's base.
It looks like Standard 4 here on the side of Flying Boulders did experience a referee malfunction, as it has died for a second time right now, which is very unfortunate. But Standard 3 is still in the fight here for Flying Boulders, doing its best to try to chip away at some of the other robots from Virginia Tech.
All right, we see both of the aggressive Virginia Tech robots on the same side of the map right now.
Yes.
Here we go. We see the red hero from Virginia Tech moving his way over to the blue side of the base. This is the robot that took down pretty much the entire base last match. We'll see what he can do now that he's over here. They've got 2v1 against the blue standard.
Oh, here he comes.
Early shots. Blue standard 3 trying to defend the base and buy a little bit of time, but
Virginia Tech
is taken out.
Takes down Flying Boulder standard. Amazing shots coming out right there.
Great job from Virginia Tech. They're continuing to battle in the center of the arena. You can see blue standard 4 from the Flying Boulders fighting against Virginia Tech's red standard 3.
We see Virginia Tech's hero trying its best to line up those shots once again on the Flying Boulders base here, as it's trying to find a right angle, but it keeps getting confronted by Flying Boulder standard, who's getting in its way. Actually, Virginia Tech's hero retreats shortly. Maybe it's getting ammo or just trying to get an extra health boost.
Phoenix Pilot TV, yes. If you cannot field all of your robots, you do just play a man down. The Flying Buffs, yes, we know their name is the Flying Buffs. They're combined. So the Flying Buffs are working together with, there's 2 teams. It's CU and Ontario Tech. They're playing together. One of them is Boulder, Colorado. One of them is the Flying Buffs, and we've smashed their names together to call them the Flying Boulders. Otherwise, it's really long to say the University of Colorado Boulder and Ontario Tech together every time we have to say the name of a robot. So Flying Boulders it is.
And it looks like the Flying Boulders are having some difficulty with their standard 4. Their standard 3 is turning on and offline. We do have a lot of movement coming out here as the standard 4 actually comes back online.
Remember that the robots are being driven with the first-person view, so when standard 3's pitch motor freaks out, all of the pilots being able to see is the sky, so he is running into some walls there. We are seeing Virginia Tech not finishing the match and taking their full time. This is a strategy we see throughout RoboMasters to get that extra practice time in the arena. So Virginia Tech will use this time perhaps to test their different guns or different strategies, or just to drive around and get a little bit more experience driving back and forth.
Yeah, indeed. Virginia Tech has showcased this raw strength of their robots. Both of them have moved exceptionally well and translated across the map, and their firing capability is pretty second to none, because this is the first match that we got going on here. We actually see Flying Boulders refilling their standard here, as you can see this wonderful shot coming in of the manual insertion of the balls. And then as we keep going, standard 4 does unfortunately fall here on the central plate.
Standard 3, though, seems to have got his pitch. Oh, issues almost worked out until it moved. That BID needs a bit of a tune-up. Phoenix Pilot, thanks for the heads up. So it is the Flying Buffs, and it's all 3 schools. I was remiss in forgetting to mention McMaster, which is also one of our Canadian teams, joining us into this trio for these 3v3 competitions.
Yes, and we love our universities coming together to form a team. And, you know,
a rough start for the Flying Buffs, but again, it's so difficult. These first-year teams coming together, working together, trying to field these robots. They are not out of the competition. If you're from one of these schools, don't worry. Your robots will be coming back. They've got some time now to take these robots back to the prep rooms, do a little bit of tuning and work. Great job from Virginia Tech. Excellent hero accuracy. The game is over, and Virginia Tech is using that opportunity to practice firing at the base. Good job, Virginia Tech. A good, clean win. Obviously, like I said earlier, our ideal scenario is always to have both teams firing on all cylinders.